What's an INFJ T? What's the difference between an INFJ T and an INFJ A? Where did these types come from? Stick around for the answers to all three of those questions in today's show. Typically, in Myers-Briggs personality theory, there are 16 types that are formed from combinations of 8 different preferences: extroversion and introversion, intuition and sensing, thinking and feeling, and judging and perceiving. But recently, a site that's become very popular for identifying personality types, 16personalities.com, has introduced another layer of the theory. And it's one that's not as widely spread, but one that they've come up with that certainly is interesting. And their theory says that for each of the personality types, they can be either assertive or turbulent. Now, the meaning of those words isn't exactly what you think it would be, but we're going to delve into that a little bit so that you can understand it. As an aside, AJ Drainth of PersonalityJunkie.com has pointed out that it's kind of funny that though 16personalities.com has the name 16 personalities, when you add the A and the T, it really makes 32 personalities when you do the math. But that aside, let's take a look at this interesting theory and see why maybe more INFJs are testing to be INFJ Ts. Before we delve into the first of the two, assertive, a little bit more background on these two extra types. And what the theory says is they have to do with identity, or rather, how confident a person of a particular type is. So assertive is someone who doesn't overreact to external stimuli from other people, the environment, changes, unforeseen changes, or anything else that could stress somebody out. So someone who is an assertive person is described as someone who's resistant to stress, who's self-assured, and generally even-tempered. As such, these people don't push themselves too hard, don't worry too much, and don't overanalyze their past actions. In general, these people are thought to be happier in their lives because they don't worry so much and they're more confident in their abilities. In contrast, turbulent types are thought to be self-conscious and sensitive to stress. There are several consequences of being a turbulent type. One of them is that emotion tends to vary more for you. So because you're tuned into external input from your environment and other people, your feelings will go from low to high, and they'll bounce back and forth somewhat frequently. Others might think you're a mercurial person, at least compared to them. Several other consequences of being a turbulent type are that you will be perfectionistic, eager to improve, and somewhat success-driven. These people are more willing to change jobs when they feel stuck. And because of their natural bent and the way they operate, they're said to be more successful in reaching their goals because they spend more time and effort trying to reach them. Turbulent types also spend a lot of time thinking about the direction their lives are going. Now that you know the main difference between 16personalities.com's identity preferences, you should have a good idea of how they might affect you as an INFJ. So let's talk about which one is more likely. I recently read an article by AJ Drainth from PersonalityJunkie.com in which he said that he believes 3/4 of INFJs score as INFJ Ts. And he's basing this belief off of search data. He says that about 3/4 of INFJs who are searching for the T or the A search for INFJ T. And he backs it up by saying that INFJs tend to be more turbulent just based on the way their personalities are put together. And when I was thinking and reading about the turbulent and assertive types, I totally and completely identified with the turbulent type because my mood really does change. I tend to be perfectionistic and I'm eager to improve. In fact, hearing about an INFJ T just sounded more like an INFJ. Now that said, I know there are people who have different preferences and who have also been raised differently. I think a lot depends on your environment, your family, and how your parents treated you, whether they accepted you for who you are, whether they encouraged you, and perhaps whether they were judging or perceiving types themselves. Some people are more driven to get things done and to be achievers. So if you grow up in a family of achievers, it wouldn't be surprising that you'd be an even more turbulent type. However, if you grew up in a more laid-back family where people really valued downtime and being together and maybe just taking life as it comes, you might be an INFJ A. But it's been my general observation that most of the INFJs I've gotten to correspond with or have talked to in person would fall under the INFJ T classification. Reading about the INFJ T also reminded me of a book that I picked up this summer, which is The Highly Sensitive Person by Elaine Aron. And in that book, Elaine explains that there is a certain percentage of the population, and it's a lower percentage, that's more attuned to external input. And because of that, they respond and are more sensitive to that input. So they're more easily stressed, they are more easily stimulated, and they might be a little less confident just because they don't operate like the rest of the world. This is a natural consequence of having a mind that works the way yours does. Even if you say you're an INFJ A, to some extent or another, you're going to pick up on other people's thoughts, feelings, and words, more so than the average person. To take a deeper look at your personality type and to go beyond the preferences to the mindsets that drive it, as well as to learn about common INFJ problems and solutions to those problems, grab a free copy of my recent ebook, the INFJ Personality Guide. You can get one by texting the letters INFJ to the number 444999, or you can visit the link ispeakpeople.com/INFJ-personality-guide. I will post that link in the description below this video. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope that you found it helpful. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, I encourage you to do that. I'm producing new videos every week for INFJs just like you. Thanks again. I'll see you next time.